All right, y'all. So this is one of the cutest movies I've ever seen. And I'm for real. I'm not just saying that. It really is like a cute movie. Okay, so I'm kind of whispering because everybody is asleep in the house. So I thought though that Tyler Perry directed this movie, and he did not. He only produced it with Devon Franklin, you know, Megan Good's ex-husband. But the whole time I'm thinking that, and maybe because Tyler's been making Netflix movies, and I just assumed that this was one of his other, Netflix movies that he, signed because he did like a 3 or 4 movie deal with Netflix or whatever. I have notes here. I don't want to leave out anything. Yeah, so the director is actually Alana Brown, and the writers are Michael Elliott and Corey Tynan. I guess I'm pronouncing it right. But yeah, I thought this was a straight up Tyler Perry movie, y'all. All right, so let's get started. So Tyler Lepley played Boaz. Let's see, Soraya McNeil played Ruth. She said her name is not Felicia, it's Felicia. So Felicia Rashad played Naomi. I did not know that. I didn't expect that. Gregory Allen Williams was Naomi's husband. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Because yeah. Anyway, so Ruth's best friend was her name is Nija Brene, or Brennan or something like that. And she played Brianna Cyrus. Listen, I'm also an actor, and if I ever meet James Lee Thomas, I may he played one of the roles where you may not ever like him again in anything else or in real life. Ugh. Lena was Ruth's co-worker. I'll get into Lena in a second. Okay, so let's get started, y'all. This will be a spoiler video as well. I usually make non-spoilers and spoilers, but I'm not making a non-spoiler video for this. All right, so let's get started. Where should I start? This was so cute. Oh my God. Okay, um, so Ruth and Brianna, they are in it kind of gave City Girls a little bit, but they are in a girl group, right, called 404. Okay. And right off the rip, y'all, I just felt like Ruth was, yeah, so they're talented. Brianna is a little more into, the group and dedicated to the group than Ruth is. Ruth is the one, she has talent, but she's not quite feeling the whole circus. Not a literal circus, but she's just not feeling. I got that she has outgrown the girl group. I feel like she was giving that she outgrew the type of music that they were performing, and she was just maturing and wanted more overall, right? And at that point, she was probably still in it, just probably to satisfy her best friend, friend Brianna, at that point, who was really in it, right? So clearly, we are introduced. Well, I'm skipping something. So they're having a concert, right? Ruth is performing. Ruth's boyfriend. Let me see what his name is. His name is Chandre Broomfield. In real life, his name is Marlon. So Marlon, brings his mom and his dad to see his girlfriend perform, right? Felicia Rashad's character, baby, Naomi, was not feeling Ruth for her son. I don't even know why he would bring them. However, the father was all into it. I'm like, why is he digging this music? Like, why is he pretending like he liked this music or feeling the vibes, just to make his son happy? And, I don't know. But the daddy was all into it, y'all. Like, the daddy was all into it. Naomi was not feeling it. Naomi was like, basically, Who is she? What is she doing? What is my son thinking? I know my son can find better than this. Okay? So mama was not having it. Okay, so then we are kind of introduced to Cyrus after the show's over and everything. Ruth and Cyrus is having a conversation, and right off the rip, like, it's like back off. And it's kind of like Cyrus knew that Ruth was over it. You know, she wasn't feeling the group anymore. She definitely was not feeling him. Okay. And Cyrus is basically kind of like threatening her to keep, you know, the things going that was signed in the contract. And it was kind of giving, I don't care how you feel, you're going to still perform, you're going to stay in this group, I don't care how you feel. Okay, so we got the creepy, weird, narcissistic vibes from Cyrus, which is I guess what the manager or whatever. And he's so Cyrus is connected with Jermaine Dupri, who plays himself in the movie. You know, and you know, they're even Jermaine Dupri, I kind of felt like they're trying to push this thing. They're trying to push this thing. Obviously, the contracts have already been signed between both of the girls. I kind of feel like everyone knew that Ruth wasn't like feeling it anymore. So Jermaine Dupri's character was basically like, listen, we've put money on the line. Everybody signed their contracts. There's no backing out now. You better get these girls together. We got stuff to do, right? So the whole time Ruth is still like struggling with her purpose. She basically tells Cyrus, listen, I'm out. Like, I'm just not feeling it. I understand I signed contracts. I understand you put money up front for our career. Cyrus is not having it. Basically, he's saying, listen, you're going to perform until you at least make the money back that we've invested in you or whatever. Ruth wasn't having it. Okay, like she was not having it at all. What else do I have here, guys? It wasn't a long movie, but it's details that I want to give you guys that obviously most of us know the story of Ruth and Boaz, but this story specifically, I want to let you guys know how, you know, the little details that led up to her going to Tennessee. What else, y'all? Okay, so yeah, Ruth backs out the contract. She doesn't care. I don't care how much money you've invested in me. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm trying to find my purpose. I'm mature. I've outgrown it. Okay, so she kind of gets into it a little bit with her friend because her friend's like, girl, we have, like, this is like millions of dollars that we can have. Like, I'm from the hood. Like, this is our chance, you know, that type of thing. And Ruth was still not having it. She did not care. Listen, she did not care, y'all. Okay, so Ruth backs out of the contract. Cyrus basically kills the guy who plays Marlon, Ruth's boyfriend, and his father, which is Felicia Rashad's, Naomi's son and daughter, because she backed out of the contract. So basically, Cyrus, her manager, retaliates because she backed out the contract and killed her boyfriend and her boyfriend's father. Y'all, when I tell y'all, it was a very sad scene. I'm smiling because I am an actor and I really felt that scene. And Felicia Rashad is just the goat of like all goats. In the scene, it kind of reminded me of what was the movie when her daughter passed away? Okay, y'all, what's the movie? I'm right here at my desktop. I can literally Google it. Was it Fried Green Tomatoes? When Felicia Rashad's real daughter played her daughter in the movie, and she passed away after she had the baby. That the scene in the hospital after she found out her son and her husband had passed away reminded me of that. Even in the movie, she was just so strong and put together and just so. Me personally, I just would have fell out on the hospital floor. Like, I just would have, like, lost it. But I guess when you find out someone has passed away or whatever, I guess you can be in a state of shock as well. So I guess that's the route that she took. And, you know, with that particular scene, she did break down a little bit, but it wasn't, like, dramatic, like, kicking, screaming, fighting all on the floor. But that scene really showed, and I guess if you're playing Naomi, you got to be a strong woman, right? But that particular scene, y'all, if you guys have not watched this, just pay attention to that scene when she's sitting in the hospital and the doctor, comes out and basically tells her this is all we can do. Just pay attention to her facial expressions and even her hands. Like, she was really like, just certain things I noticed as an actor, guys. Anyway, okay, what happens next, y'all? Okay, oh my God, y'all ain't gonna believe this. So after her son and the husband gets killed, right? For whatever reason, during the funeral, she was talking to the attorney, the lawyer, someone who was over the paperwork, right? Please tell me why she found out that her husband was in debt and basically everything that they owned, everything that her husband left behind was about to be jeopardized because his investments, what he just owed so much. And she ended up not owning anything. All right, y'all. So they still owned a house in Tennessee. Felicia Rashad and her husband. Why do I keep saying that? Naomi and her husband, who is actually Gregory Allen Williams. And it looks like his name was Eli in the movie. So they still owned a house back in Tennessee, right? So they moved to Atlanta. Once they got going in life and, got money and got settled in, they moved from Tennessee to Atlanta. So after the funeral, she got herself situated, and they had to move back to Tennessee. Well, she had to move back, y'all. The mansion's gone, the cars are gone, the lifestyle is gone. And now I realize at that time, she was embarrassed to go back to Tennessee because once they got to Tennessee, she was ashamed and kind of embarrassed. She didn't want to go back to her hometown, the hometown church, the neighborhood church, because she mentioned, we left and we made all that money and we was living the lifestyle and now I'm back here without a dime. She mentioned that to Ruth. I'm skipping stuff. Okay, so before Naomi even got to Tennessee, Ruth obviously was trying to escape her contract and trying to escape, the life and all of that of a performer and all that. She wanted out. She wanted, especially, she wanted a transition as well because her boyfriend was gone as well. So she kind of clinged on to Naomi after the deaths of her boyfriend and the father. So literally, Naomi's on the train on her way to Tennessee, and Ruth, she ends up on the train with Naomi. But first, she did go to the mansion, and one of the guys that was at the mansion, orchestrating like the moving out and all the furniture, just orchestrating the whole thing. He was like, he didn't want to tell her at first, but he was like, basically she's on her way to Tennessee. She's at the bus station on such and such street. Naomi jets out of there. Naomi ends up on the train with Ruth. Okay. Naomi said, Ruth said, you're not going nowhere without me. And the whole time Naomi's like, girl, like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to come with me? Like, go and, basically go on now. Y'all know how Felicia Rashad is. Go on now. All right. Go on now. And she actually called her a little girl. Go on now. Look, go on now. Ruth wasn't having it. I'm going with you. Nothing. And I don't want anything to do with this life. I need a new fresh start. I feel your pain, you feel my pain, so why not follow you, right? So they end up in Tennessee at the home that Naomi and her husband owned, and obviously that they still owned. Worn out, broken down, it's been 20 years, right? Needs a paint job, grass up to your knees. So the house is worn down, guys. The house is dusty. It needs all the things, right? It needs all the tender love and care. So they and at this point, Naomi's still not understanding, why is this girl following me? Why is she even here with me? What does she want? Why is she here? Don't she got better things to do? So they slowly but surely start to get a little close here and there, as the days go by. And Ruth starts to search for work. She starts to search for work. And one day, and it's so funny, this scene, because she's like dressed in her little cute blazer. She got her purse on, her hair's cute, all that, right? And she gets turned down, and then she walks over, like across the parking lot, across the street or whatever, and she sees these workers who's waiting on like why when I make my YouTube videos, my brain just go blank all the time? They're waiting to be transported to the field, to the land, the field, the vineyard. Ruth's not knowing what type of work it is, so she walks over to the workers, and she's standing there, and they immediately look at her like, girl, first of all, you are not even dressed right. You look too pretty right now to be doing this type of work. Do you even know what we're about to go do? And so one of the women, I think one of the women asked her, a question or two, and then they were like, girl, okay. Anyway, she got on the truck with the workers, and I kind of got a little happy because I thought that Lena was going to be mean to her the whole time, the only female co-worker that was on the truck when they were going, on their way there. But they started to get a little close. She was nice to Ruth. I forgot what she asked her she asked her something, and then she was like, tonight, make sure you put your hands in ice and soak your body. I was like, oh, okay. She's not a bitch for real. She's just one of those hard to get friends, I guess. We all know those type of women. They're hard on the outside and really nice on the inside, I guess. But they started to get close. Lena would show her, the ropes or whatever. And Ruth was out there. Ruth was out there working right along with everyone else. Okay, so the good part. Boaz, as I was saying, y'all, we all know the story, right? Boaz shows up. And when I tell y'all, please comment in the comments. You should have already seen this movie if you're watching this review, because this is a spoiler review. So why are you watching this and you ain't seen it yet? Oh my God, I wonder if, I don't know, because as an actor, I really want to know if he practiced his facial expressions in the mirror, because they were so realistic, and it was kind of like, because sometimes when you know that a moment is going to happen, because we know Ruth and Boaz, we know the story. Before I watched this, I was wondering how he would interact with her and what would his reaction be like when he did see her. But in the movie, I'm telling y'all, Tyler Lepley, I guess that's how you pronounce his last name, his reaction when he saw her, his facial expression when he saw her, 100% realistic. It wasn't, I really felt like I was witnessing a man who just experienced love at first sight for real. His character definitely displayed a man who truly feels like he has met his wife, like he has laid eyes on his wife. Definitely. If you guys seen this movie, please comment. I know I'm not crazy, and I really appreciated that as an actor, because it was realistic. It wasn't overly done. It wasn't like a lustful look. No, it was like, I don't know, guys. This movie was really directed well. It really was. So he lays eyes on Ruth, and it is over, baby. When I tell you, it is over from there. Ruth might as well stop trying to, play hard to get. Just stop, because he ain't gonna give up, and he didn't give up. We know the story. We know he didn't give up. So she didn't know that he was the owner, right? She was still polite. A little hard to get, still kind of standoffish, which is understandable. Like, you gotta give a little pushback. You can't be all overly nice and stuff. So they meet, and eventually they start to get close because Lena and Ruth ends up in, I guess it's a bar. So Lena invites Ruth out to a karaoke place. Okay. And then the guy, Gino, invites, he and Boaz are together. So he and Boaz, they are regulars at this place. Obviously, I think Lena is as well, but Ruth is kind of like the newcomer. She clearly she can sing. So Lena kind of sets her up and signs her up for the karaoke night. She didn't know that, okay? So the karaoke guy gets up there, and Boaz and Gino's in the back, right? Boaz, he didn't even know that that Ruth was there. He didn't expect her to get up there and sing. He didn't expect to be, he didn't know anything, right? So long story short, Lena signs up Ruth for karaoke. Ruth gets forced up there to sing. And when I tell you Boaz is in the back, like, what? It's her again. Oh my gosh, she can sing. This man looks totally, like I said, it's not a sexual look. It's not a lustful look. It's like this man is mesmerized. You would think that this man has never seen a woman in his life. Okay? This man is mesmerized. This man is sure and clear, crystal clear, that this is his woman. Do you understand me? Okay, go on, fast forward. They bump into each other at the bar, Ruth and Boaz. She's still not knowing that he's the owner of the vineyard or whatever. She's still polite. They chit chat. Okay, cool. I'm going to fast forward the story, y'all. Blah blah blah. Her and Lena gets closer. She finds out that Boaz is the owner of the vineyard. She's surprised. She gets the promotion. Actually, she gets the promotion before she knows that it was Boaz that gave her the promotion, right? And then she found out later that, like, oh, okay, so you're the one who basically gave me this promotion, and all of that. Okay, everybody's kind of getting more and more information about each other and finding out who each other, who they all are. Long story short, Babyface is in the movie as well. Plays himself, of course. Boaz knows Babyface, because Nashville, Tennessee, it's it's the country music. It's like the mecca, right, of music. And Boaz introduces Ruth to Babyface, and Ruth sings with Babyface. Like, he basically gives her like some type of like audition, whatever. Let me see what you got. Sing something for me, okay? And she's just full of with Babyface, and Boaz is standing there looking mesmerized again, like, who in the world is she? Where did she come from? Lord, thank you. So they kind of bond after that as well. She was so appreciative. She's slowly but surely starting to fall for Boaz. Whole time, she's not knowing that Cyrus, her manager back in Atlanta, she's not knowing that he knows that she's in Tennessee. Oh my God, Cyrus shows up in Tennessee, y'all. Oh God, he shows up at the karaoke bar. By then, Ruth is actually there, but Ruth leaves. She gets a call, and she leaves out of the bar because, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm an actor. I'm a little dramatic. Can y'all believe Cyrus showed up to Tennessee? And did he put his, I don't think he put his hands on, yeah, he pushed her. Yeah. It was one of those scenes where Naomi didn't know who Cyrus was. You know what I mean? Cyrus is sitting at Naomi's table, and Ruth walks in, and Ruth's like, this is who killed your son and your husband, him, just because I decided to back out of a contract. Naomi's like, she's kind of in shock. She's still not reacting too wildly or dramatic, right? Okay, some stuff goes down. They thought they were gonna get away with snatching up Naomi and taking her. I mean, snatching up Ruth and taking her back to Atlanta. Okay, so there was a scene in the middle of the movie when Naomi got back to Tennessee. She used like this shotgun to like move a mouse trap out the way. I instantly thought of that scene. I'm like, she got a gun. Baby, when I tell you, Naomi walked out on that porch with that shotgun, looking fearless. Had that Harriet Tubman spirit in her, honey, about to blow everybody's head off. Baby, oh God, it went down. Oh my God, Boaz showed up. Now keep in mind, Cyrus, the manager, is physically trying to get Naomi back in the truck, trying to get her back to Atlanta to fulfill this contract, to do her shows, to do whatever she needs to do. Okay, Naomi came out on the porch, shot the gun. Ruth got loose. Boaz shows up. Boaz is fighting Cyrus and this other big black dude that thought somebody was scared of him. It went down in the front yard. The police were called. But before that, I don't know how I forgot this one. So they were at like the county fair. And once again, Ruth was up there singing. And then that's when she saw Cyrus. And she kind of like hesitated and messed up her song when she saw him. So everybody was looking like something's wrong, right? Something's wrong, because she got distracted when she saw this person. Cyrus, y'all. Cyrus sets Boaz's wine on fire. Like the whole technically, I mean, it's a barn, but it's a wine cellar type of thing. It's not, an animal barn or anything, but the whole thing goes up in flames. The whole thing goes up in flames, y'all. So Boaz is like bugging out, because Boaz the whole time is basically trying to promote and get his wine out there. You know what I mean? He was talking back and forth to, certain companies, and he was just at the brink of like trying to make his wine like the bestseller. Like, I forgot exactly what the situation was, where he was trying to, push his wine and the benefits of that and all of that. But come to find out, so Boaz thought that all of these wine bottles were ruined because the whole barn got caught on fire. But no, like the wine was still drinkable. The wine was fine, right? Technically, it was just, I guess, the bottles that were burnt. But they mentioned something. They said that this wine should have been turned into vinegar. Burning like this. The wine bottles burning like this should have just turned the wine into vinegar. Oh no, but God, baby, that wine was fine. Baby, that wine was okay. He still was able to use all the wine that technically he thought burned and was ruined. Still got his deal. Still, I should have wrote that down. I should have wrote down exactly what that deal was, 'cause I forgot. But basically, that still happened. Cyrus and his bodyguard, they went to jail. There was a shot that went off when Naomi was on that porch. I don't think she got him. She said, if you don't release, she meant this. Listen, that's one woman I wouldn't mess with in real life. I wouldn't mess with Felicia Rashad in real life. R.I.P. Cicely Tyson, I wouldn't mess with her in real life. I would not mess with Patti LaBelle in real life. I would not mess with her. I'm getting sleepy, y'all, so I'm being silly. But seriously, though, The only response those women would get out of me is no ma'am or yes ma'am. All right. I don't want to tell y'all the whole movie, but yeah, I mean that basically sums it up. Oh, it was a scene where the church showed up and helped Naomi fix up her house. As a community, they helped her fix up her house. I'm so glad that she even still had that house in Tennessee because I don't know what she would have done. It is so crazy how like that type of stuff happens every day. Like your a spouse would die, and then the other spouse finds out that basically you're 6 months behind on your mortgage and you're about to get. It's like, oh Lord Jesus. I would give this, honestly, I would give this like a 9.5 out of 10. That's just me. Or a 4.5 out of 5. Let me see if there's any other characters I want to talk about. I really loved how her and Lena, because I thought Lena was going to end up being a mean girl. I am so happy her and her friend Lena got close, and Lena ended up so nice to her. She really did. So her friend Brianna knew that Ruth was in Tennessee the whole time. She didn't tell Cyrus, and Cyrus was kind of like, hey, like this your homegirl. You know, this is your bandmate. You know where she is. And Brianna held it down. Brianna was like, I don't know where she is. And then a few scenes later, we saw Brianna texting Ruth. Like, hey, girl, watch your back. I think Cyrus knows that you're in Tennessee. How Cyrus found out Ruth was in Tennessee is because when she was at karaoke, she went viral. Lena was recording her at karaoke, and she went viral at karaoke. Then that's how Cyrus found out she was in Tennessee. But you know, Lena, she didn't know that Ruth was on the run or anything like that, so it was innocent. I don't want to tell y'all everything. Yeah, so the wine deal worked out, guys. Cyrus went to jail. Ruth got out of her contract. She didn't have to, you know. Oh, God. Ugh. I'm just looking at Cyrus's picture. I have the IMDb up. It's so annoying. I'm glad she got out of it. I did feel so sorry for Naomi when she had to move to Tennessee. Everything worked out okay though, guys. Definitely a 9.5 out of 10. I need to be reading my own script because I shoot a film in North Carolina, November 1st through the 13th. Yeah, I'm sleepy, and I'm starting to get silly. If you guys are wondering what that is, that's my background for when I audition for movies. That's my audition background. But I'm about to go to sleep. I highly recommend this movie. I wouldn't lie to you. Alright guys, so listen, this is like my 7th movie review on my page. All of my movie reviews are in the movie review playlist. I also have all types of vlogs. I have shopping hauls, grocery shopping hauls, all of that stuff in their own playlist on my channel. So go ahead and pick your poison on my channel. Some people just like my audio only videos because they don't feel obligated to have to look at the screen. You can just listen while you're working, cooking, driving, or whatever. But as I was saying, y'all, so I'll put my IMDb link. Well, my IMDb link is already on my YouTube channel. If you guys want to watch any of my projects that I've been in, I leave out on Halloween to film in North Carolina, November the 1st through the 13th, which is 13 days away from my children, which is always the hard part. But anyway, certain movies I have to review because I did Him, but I just had to review this movie. This was a good movie, y'all. It was beautiful. I did think that Tyler Perry had directed it, but no, I was wrong. This was a beautiful movie. The storyline, and when I say the storyline, I know Ruth and Boaz's story, right? I'm just talking about like this particular storyline, how this movie allowed Ruth and Boaz to meet. With all the same, what word am I looking for? still with the same it still respects Ruth and Boaz's story and marriage and relationship, like, you know what I mean? Anyway, y'all, bye bye.